astrology of the moment, as always, just like whatever else comes up. I put a message in my Instagram stories earlier asking for people to, hey, hello, say hi when you're here. But just asking what people would maybe like to hear about today, because obviously I do kind of touch on the general astrology of the moment, but also I like to know what you're working on, what you're dealing with right now, so that I can, you know, help you with that and speak to that maybe a little bit more. So, I don't know if you can hear this right now. I am in a serious drum and bass mood this morning. I have just been like, I'm really feeling it. So, if I start like hopping around over here, like I'm not absolutely losing my mind. Well, in a way, yeah, I'm absolutely losing my mind to this incredible set. Anyway, so let's talk about the astrology of the moment, and then we will come to a question that we got in my Discord this morning, responding to my message in Instagram, and that's to talk about Saturn, right? So we've got this really epic Saturn conjunct the sun moment that's happening at the end of the week, so that's tomorrow, although we're sort of like coming into conjunction now, so it's maybe started feeling the ripple effects of it yesterday, but it's going to be coming into like exact conjunction tomorrow. Hello, Karishma. Yes, we are going to be talking about your question, right? Talking about the Saturn Cazimi going on Friday, and how that might affect you. So let's first just really quick touch on the astrology of the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the celestial events over here on Twitch. If you want to watch my screen, if you want to like be part of the action and be like on the computer with me, then you can come over to twitch.tv/Mama Capricorn _. And so you can see like what it is that I am. No, you can't. Damn it. Let me see if I can fix this now. Because this is not going to work for us. I can't have, there we go. Okay, so let's edit this. We're just going to do this in real time, aren't we? Because I've got to be able to show you my screen today. There we go. Perfect. Yes, nailed it. Okay. So, the celestial events, right? Just like what's going on. This fucking song is so good. What's going on up there? And I'm here like looking at Carolina's chart from yesterday. So let me just pull it up into me. Okay. So, interesting stuff that we've got going on. Like I said, we've got this sun coming into conjunction with Saturn, but let's first touch on this Venus-Neptune conjunction that happened yesterday. So yesterday, as I mentioned, we also had the sun in Sagittarius. So this was this really like beautiful, heart-opening, expansive day. Now, if your dreams, if like what you want feels really foreign or really far, or you get stuck into a space of like immediately trying to figure it out or immediately trying to see yourself in the space of what it is that you want, or like not even trying to see yourself in the space, but trying to like have the like the prime delivery mentality, right? That like, okay, well, I thought of it, so it's gonna like appear in front of me now, right? Like, no, that's not how most things work in life. And so today, with the moon being in Capricorn, you got a little bit more of that energy, right? A little bit more of the energy to actually start processing, okay, so that was a really big dream that I had. Like, that's a really big thing that I feel like I would like for myself. And it, oh, thank you so much. Yes. Honestly, they're like, yes, they're amazing. I love the chunky glitter on the ends. So yeah, you're welcome. Someone commented on my nails. So here you go, Twitch. They're really good. Anyway, so we are talking about, right, the Venus-Neptune conjunction that happened yesterday. So if you used this time wisely, you were able to really get expansive, to think big, and not allow yourself to like have a limit, basically, right? Because the moon in Sagittarius and then Venus being conjunct with Neptune in Pisces, it's just a very dreamy moment. It's a moment where you're able to like be expansive and think big, and as long as you're not trying to, like I said, figure it out right away, you should have been all right. You should have been able to like feel really good in that and like Oh my gosh, like I'm so excited about what it is that I'm going to be like stepping into, or this like vision is really cool for me, you know? And so today now, with the moon being in Capricorn, and the sun and Saturn getting closer and closer, we are having this moment of now you've got like, okay, well, if I want to climb up that mountain, what is it that I'm going to require? And that is something that I really appreciate about having a Capricorn moon. And let me also say this, because I see this shit all the time on Reddit and just like other places. I know that like there are some placements that like maybe hit like traditional astrology or like old school astrology would be like, this is a bad placement, or like this is bad whatever, like this is bad synastry, this is bad compatibility. I don't think that about anything. I don't think anything is inherently negative or positive. I like to look at everything from the perspective of like the creator. Okay, so if God or your source power, whatever, is an unconditionally loving entity, is an unconditionally loving being, then no, it's not gonna just like, you're a bad, like, you're just bad. Like, let's just like fuck around with this one. Like, no, that's not how it works. There's opportunities to grow through this. There's opportunities to see the higher frequency of a placement. And, you know, Capricorn moon is like, oh, the moon's in detriment. The moon doesn't like being in Capricorn. I love a Capricorn moon. Having the emotional, the emotional resilience to understand and to recognize that if I want to go somewhere, if I want to climb a mountain, if I want to do something big, if I want to build something, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be something that requires regular maintenance, regular care, regular work toward that thing. So now with the moon being in Capricorn, you know, I have access to this all the time, and now you have access to it. So we've got this really great opportunity for you to start grounding that big vision. And even if you don't like know steps 1 through 100, like you may not be able to plot every single step of the way from there, you know, from where you are now to where you want to go, but that's not the point. All you need to do is figure out, and this is this is how I help my clients. This is how I go about creating anything for myself, for like other people. If I'm creating a program, a course or something like that, we look at where they are now. Who is this for? Who this is for is you right now. Okay. This vision that you want to create for yourself. What is it? Okay. And what will you require in order to create that, to get there safely, comfortably, okay, relatively, all right? You may have to face some discomfort, but, you know, not in an unsafe, like, losing my sense of, like, stability sort of way, right? So what does this mean? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Get as clear as you can about what it is that you're trying to create. So I know that Venus and Neptune and Pisces are, like, almost so big you can't even like verbalize it. So I want you to try, okay? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Because the more that you can see yourself in that picture, the clearer that you can make that an actual like image that you could see, like you could close your eyes and play it like a movie. Your mind is naturally like a computer processor that's trying to figure out the steps to get from here to there. Right? And so the 3 essential questions that you should answer for yourself is, well, what am I going to have to do? As in, what actions will I have to take for me to get from here to there? Will I have to do? What resources will I require? So that might mean knowledge. That might mean actual like physical, physical like items. It might mean access to a network or a person, or you might need, right there, what do you need? Okay. And then who will you have to become? Because that's the big one, right? In order for you to hold what it is that you're trying to create for yourself, what qualities, what characteristics, like who do you think that you will have to be in order for you to have that, in order for you to really see yourself in the picture of that, okay? So that's a really great way for you to use today, is to really be conceptualizing not just like this amazing feeling of like, wouldn't it be nice? Like, no, like people have allegedly like walked on the moon. Like we've done so many things as humanity. Like they built like empires and civilizations, and like your dream is not that big. Like, I promise you, like your dream is, I mean, unless your dream is like, I want to figure out teleportation. Like, okay, all right, relax. Okay, maybe take that a couple steps at a time, right? What comes right before teleportation? I don't know, like a bullet train or something, maybe, right? But that's that, you know, just I need you to tell your inner self, I need you to tell that inner critic in your head that says like, oh, that would be nice, wouldn't that be nice? Or like, if only I could, or if only I had, or if only, like, no, not if only nothing. Like, I don't mean for this to sound like such a cheesy thing, but like, if you can dream it, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you can see it, you can do it. It's just a matter of like answering these questions and having the emotional resilience, which, thank you, Moon and Capricorn today, to recognize that taking the actions or going, like, moving closer to it for a day or a week or even a couple of months, it's not going to happen right away. But there will be this moment where you'll be like, wow, I can look back. Like, I feel like I've had the pop, I've had the breakthrough, or whatever it is that you want to call it. But like, we're at a point where we are across that line and things are starting to flow. Things are starting to get much, much easier, right? And we're starting to see like fruiting from our labor. But that's really what it's about, is having the emotional resilience to hold that picture in your mind, to know what it is that you're going to require to do that, to get there. And also, hold space for that. Okay, so we've got all of that going on. Today would be a really great day for you, maybe to not take like immediate action on things, but just to start answering those 3 questions. Okay, so if this is the picture of what it is that I'm trying to create, right? I know what it looks like, I know what it sounds like, I know what it feels like, and feels like texture, like physical. We want to make this as much of a picture as we can, okay? And so if I know what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like, and then I hold that up, like, right? Like, I'm thinking of that Pam meme, like spot the differences picture game. And it's, okay, well, this is where we're at now, and this is the picture of where we want to go. So what will I require, right? What resources, what actions, and what qualities, what characteristics, and what can I do now to start getting there, So you don't have to start figuring it out right this second, but just answering those questions, things will start to come into place. Tomorrow, so this is where we're really getting into Karishma's question. Is it over already? No, it's not. Okay. Is it over already? I'm going to lose my shit if it's over already. No, it's not. Okay. I'm listening to this really great drum and bass set, and I like to listen to music while I am doing this, or anything. Okay. So, tomorrow we have this Saturn Cazimi moment, right? And without getting all like Astro talky on you, what that means is that the sun and Saturn are going to be in the same place, right, astrologically, okay? So in the same degree, in like toward the very last degrees of Aquarius, because over the weekend we've got the sun moving into Pisces, and then in just a couple of weeks, I mean, it's like March something. It's the very beginning of March. I can pull it open. Let's go look. Astro notes. And this is something that I made that you can purchase in my shop. But if you are in my membership, you get every month, like at the top of the month. So Saturn enters Pisces on March 7th, right? So we've got quite a few, just a couple of weeks, right? Because like 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. Woo, I'm so excited. If you have your Saturn in Aquarius, I'm sure that you are very excited too. I don't have my Saturn in Aquarius. My Saturn's in Capricorn. But anyway, so let's talk about, what this means for us, right? So the best way, without me actually looking at your chart, where am I? I'm looking for Twitch. Okay. Without me actually looking at your chart, without me being able to see like where else, like what degrees you have, things at, and getting more specific with you, the best way for you to to be able to recognize like where this conjunction is like personally affecting you would be to go and look for the house. Like what house, what area of your astrological like pie chart does this fall into for you? Now, if you want to follow along with me, I'm going to pull open a chart on my computer here. Talking to Instagram real quick, Twitch, don't worry about it. But if you want to come and watch that, I'm over on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/mamacapricorn_. Or you can just listen along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull open, I'll pull open my chart just so that you can see what it is I'm doing. And I'm going to come down to this extended chart section. This is again over on astro.com. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down to, it says natal chart and transits. Now, I'm also going to change the housing system here to whole sign. If you are, astro savvy, if you are someone who is comfortable with your Placidus chart, look at your Placidus chart. I have no skin in this game. I do not care. It is easier to teach astrology to a group of people or to, a group of people. I'm not sure, who's watching or when they're watching. They might be watching the replay. Hello, you in the future. And so without being able to, to be able to speak to everyone individually and know, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how much do you know about astrology? You're on Twitch, but you can't comment on there. You can't comment on there? That's okay. Is that why? Is it just because you don't have an account? You're just like watching me on TV? That's fine. So what we're going to do, natal chart and transits, I'm going to pull this down to whole sign so that it's easier to teach. And then what I'm also going to do is I like to reduce my orbs. I mean, this just makes it easier for y'all to look at. I'm also going to change this to tomorrow because that is the Cazimi date. Boom. Let's show the chart. Okay. So what you're seeing here is that Saturn and the Sun, this will be at 28 degrees Capricorn, or I'm sorry, not Capricorn, I'm looking at my own sun, 28 degrees Aquarius, obviously. So with that happening at the very end of Aquarius, I mean, first of all, like if we're just looking at this in my chart, okay, you can see that this is like a couple of degrees past my midheaven line. So my MC, this is the line that tells you about my reputation. And then the line that leads into the 10th house for Pisces. So what you do when you're looking at this in whole sign is you want to just be looking at like what area of your life this has been affecting. So for example, if we're talking about Saturn transits are about 2.5, 3 years long. Saturn entered Aquarius the week that we went into lockdown. And so with that said, you have been working on this one area of your life. Like we've all been focused on the health and wellness of the individual for the sake of the well-being of the whole and like technological innovation for the last 2.5, 3 years since COVID started. Okay. So because of all of that, like I'm so not even remotely surprised that AI has like popped off right here at the end. And so now we're going to have Saturn moving into Pisces. So what you want to do is look at the area of your chart where this has been affected. So for me, this is the 9th house, right? So this has been a time where I've been really refining. Whew, boy, have I. The higher learning, higher thinking, what beliefs and like systems that I subscribe to. For those of you who know me even a little bit well, like, you know why that is like dead ass on the nose. Okay. So I've really been coming into myself again lately, but like in a more, like I'm happy with this. Like I'm very happy with where we are and what's going on. And I am, we're in a state of recommitment. Okay. And so whatever it is that like, that's basically what the Sun conjunct Saturn is the Sun is shining its light onto the big project or thing or whatever that you want to have taken or take seriously, or really just like tie the bow on. Okay. So It's like, if this started in my ninth house, this has been something that I've been working on, like, what beliefs, what philosophies, what systems, what messaging do I really want to be? So we're looking at what house Saturn is in your natal chart. No. So what house Saturn transiting Saturn is in your natal chart. Yes, correct. So, Karishma, right, who brought up this question, hers has been transiting her third house. Now, I cannot get over, like, this is what I mean when I say knowing astrology, like learning how to create flow, learning how to lean into like the highest expression of who you are and develop better self-awareness. That is the point of this. It is not to like look at and be like, okay, so now I do this and now I do that and who am I again? That's not what this is for, okay? Oh shit, and that's probably a big part of what it is that we're talking about even right now, Karishma. Because I know that, you know, if this started in your third house, you were with me in 2020 taking a program that I taught, and a lot of it had to, right, has had a lot to do with your messaging. And that's what the third house really is like interpersonal communication, that like one-to-one, you know, and even like your role as a teacher. And so when we talk about the third house for you and the fact that we are having a session tomorrow morning to talk about your messaging and to like, okay, and like even the way that we like set that date, that we were like, okay, we didn't even think about the date or like what it was. We did not look at the astrology of it all. We were just like, okay, this is the right date for us. This is what makes the most sense. And the way that we like phrased it, we were like, okay, this is it for you. Like we are committing to like this right now. Like you are super ready to start taking this like very seriously and to allow yourself to lean into this. And if we need to rework and whatever along the way, that's fine. But mostly like it's like no more like wishy-washy, like, oh, is it this or is it that? Like, no, it's this. And then it's just going to keep getting better from here. Right. And I'm like, like, I can't even deal with the fact that we're meeting to talk about this and to write your like elevator pitch, you know, using your chart on the day that this is happening, right? That we've got this like Saturn Cazimi moment. So like, I'm even more excited now to talk to you because I just didn't even think about it being in your third house. But this is the stuff. This is what we're talking about. And like on that note, just like very quickly, because I know this is like I've been talking about these two like very closely related lately, about Saturn and about Pluto, and it's just because they're both changing like it's not every day that one of them changes the sign in the first place, let alone the fact that they're both going to be changing sign in the same month. That's just bananas to me. But it's gonna, right? So Pluto has been transiting my 8th house for goddamn ever. Oh my God, just since 2008, right? And it's gonna come into Aquarius for just 3 months this year. Just 3 months, so it's gonna go into my 9th house. And y'all, the 9th house is the house of like higher thinking, higher learning, philosophy. You find like astrology there, you find yoga there, you find a lot of stuff that I'm like very into, right? So I've wanted to take a yoga teacher training for a long time, for like, I don't know. I mean, I was researching some like 4-ish years ago, and it just like wasn't the right time. And I committed last year to a yoga teacher training that is starting March 4th, right? So it's like a couple of days before Saturn moves into Pisces, which for me is my house of career, reputation. And then Pluto moves into Aquarius just for those 3 months. And for those 3 months, that's when I'm going to be in yoga teacher training. And then it goes back into Capricorn for a little bit. And I'm just like, are you serious? That's just one of those things that I'm like too real. So that would be actually another fun thing for you to, and I'm just going off on a little tangent here now, but that would be another fun thing to look at, would be to go find like, where has Pluto been transiting for the last 20 years of your life? Like what area of your life has been undergoing this like dramatic and maybe even like traumatic transformational process. And then where's it going next? We don't live through too many Pluto transits. You know, I was born with Pluto in Scorpio, obviously, as you can see here on my computer screen. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, you don't live to see like an opposition, really. Like, that's a long time, you know. It takes like 248 years for Pluto to make its way all the way around, so you don't live to see a return, you don't live to see the opposition. So yeah, I'm getting a little morbid, but you know, that's 8th house Fanny for you. Okay. Yours is 5th moving into your 6th, Kara. So that would mean that we are, you know, I've said this once and I'll say it again. I know that, you know, when I talk about the 6th house, like people talk about the 6th house, like spreadsheets and like your day-to-day, you know, like communications and organization and stuff like that. And that's true. But it's also like just your regular like health and wellness. Like, what is it that you do on the daily to make life feel good? It's about developing your own routines, you know, and that's something I feel like I've been talking to you about that. Is it you that I've been talking to about that? Or I've been talking to, I don't know. Sometimes my clients are like all going through the same thing at the same time somehow, even though they are not like connected to one another or like talking to one another. So transparently, sometimes I feel like I'm just repeating myself in client conversations, and I don't remember if I was talking to you about that or if it was somebody else that I was talking to this week. Nope. Now that I'm remembering, like, definitely was somebody else I was talking to this week, my client who just had surgery, so that makes sense. But yeah, the 6th house, so the 6th house is very much, the 6th house is very much about your day-to-day health and wellness, and not like, okay, well, what does Jennifer Aniston do in the morning? Or like, what does Fanny do in the morning? Like, we can give you like, you know, I can share my morning routine as like an inspirational point or like an example of like stuff you can do or whatever. But I am just a firm believer that everyone has their own way of operating, you know. Maybe you're a morning person, maybe not. Like, I don't believe in necessarily like conforming to a way of being that is not comfortable for you. And in fact, that's usually the first place that I start with my clients, is like, okay, if you want to do something new and you are too anxious or you're too nervous or you can't even like conceptualize of what the thing is, like, you know, you need a change, but you've gotten to this point where you're in fight or flight, you're in reactivity mode, and so you can't even think about like, okay, what is it that I want, or what is it that I want to do? Like, you can't even see yourself on the other side of where you are. And so it's about helping you to reconnect with your own intuitive voice, right? Started working out, and last year focusing on your ritual practices. That's great. That's perfect. I mean, and really, you know, when Pluto transits a long ass time, right? So like I said, Pluto's been transiting my 8th house since 2008. Okay. Oh my gosh, actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, that's a little bit crazy. Because it was in like 2007, late 2007, or no, I'm sorry, early 2007. I dropped out of high school and I moved across the country, and I had just had this moment where I was like completely unsupported. And then it was like, for these 2008 to, you know, now, it's been like, you want to think about houses, or you want to think about even signs as like the axis, right? That what is on both sides of them. Okay. So with this having transited my 8th house, this has been all about like shame stuff, and like the concept that things are always going to be in a state of change, and releasing attachment, developing healthy attachments to things, and more than anything, recognizing my value in things, and that I'm not necessarily reliant on other people's, like the resources of the world or resources of other people, but also that I am, right? So it's like that duality of like what is yours and what isn't. Like when you die, like none of this stuff is actually yours. You know what I mean? It's like such a mind fuck. And so, you know, when you think about Pluto transits, it's going to be something that happens a long time. I don't want you like dwelling in it too much. That's why I focus more on Saturn, because he is a little bit quicker, a little bit more impactful. It's something that I feel like we have a little bit more control over. But it is good to know where Pluto is going. It's just always good to know. All right, I'm just like, I talked for about 4 hours yesterday, y'all, like completely transparently, because I did this and then I taught the class on Venus, which if you did not catch that and you're in my membership, it should already be in your inbox. If it's not, you can just hop on over to Discord, because it is there in Discord, in our replay library in the Astro section. And then if you want to watch the class and you're not in my membership, you can either join, or you can go buy the class. So like just individually, you can buy that one class, get it delivered to your inbox, and it looks like this. So if you're on my, here you go. So if you go and purchase this from my Ko-Fi shop, it'll look like this. You've got the whole class embedded here, and then also like all of the information that I taught on here in class. So this was a really, really good class about Venus and helping you to better understand how to use your Venus placement to be a better communicator, to better identify what your standards are in relationship, and how to honor other people's standards, and how to better recognize what their love languages are and all kinds of things like that. So you can go check that out. Again, that is at my Ko-Fi shop. If you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio, and if you are here, the link is right below me now. I say here, I mean Twitch, and also YouTube. Hello, you in the future. I'm getting sleepy. So I'm going to go. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Use this moon in Capricorn time to your advantage. Don't necessarily try to take an action right now. I'm not asking you to take action right now, but we had this beautiful, incredible vision that has been marinating on your soul for the last few, days now. And so use this time to answer the 3 questions. I'm going to say them one more time. You can get out a pen, write them down. You can pause this, whatever, if you're watching the replay. But we have to know, what does it look like, sound like, feel like, right? What does that picture look like? Spot the differences from where you are now to where you want to go. What resources will you require? What knowledge? What access? What support? Okay? What actions will you need to take? And then who will you have to be? I know that one can be the big one. If you have questions about this, if you need support, come find me in Discord. My Discord is like literally everywhere. Or hop into my membership. We have Q&As twice a month, and I'm always in there talking about stuff to help make things easier for you. So go use this Capricorn moon day to your advantage. I love you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow for another day of Astro Chat and Chill.